Yes, yes. Thank you, Prashanthi, for joining us today. I'm looking forward for today's discussion as we are going to discuss especially the frequently asked questions. And of course, the April 2025 Visa Bulletin is out. So maybe let's start with that. And yeah, I got this first question, Prashanthi, about the Visa Bulletin. If you can tell us about some of the significant changes which we see in the April 2025 Visa Bulletin as compared to the previous months, and how these changes will impact, the applicants across various visa categories, family or employment.
Yeah, so we've seen some good forward movement for EB3 India and a slight forward movement for EB2 India and some forward movement for EB1 India as well. So overall, we've seen some forward movement in this month, which is maybe a little surprising because we were not expecting this much forward movement uh, for EB. So we've always known EB3 is doing better than EB2. And EB1 is heavily backlogged, so it's going in that order. But let's just a quick snapshot of um, forward movement for April compared to March. So EB1 India has moved by 2 weeks. EB1 China, there's no change. EB1 rest of the world, there's no change. It's current anyway. EB2 India has moved by 1 month. Rest of the world has moved by 5 weeks. EB2 China has moved by 5 months, so that's a pretty significant forward movement for EB2 China. So unlike EB2 India, EB2 China is not as backlogged. EB3 India is moved by 2 months, so that's the maximum movement for any category this month. EB3 China has moved by 3 months, and EB3 rest of the world has also moved by 1 month. So the maximum movement is for EB2 China 5 months, and after that followed by EB3 India, which is 2 months, and EB3 China, which is 3 months. So the biggest news, of course, is retrogression for EB5. EB5 India has retrogressed by 2 years, and this is the unreserved category. EB5 China retrogressed by 2 years and 3 months, so more so than India, but we know China is EB5 category is used more by China than it is by India. But looks like India is catching up as well in the usage. EB5 rest of the world unreserved is current, and EB5 for rural high unemployment infrastructure, which is the set aside area, is current in all categories. So unreserved has moved by 2 years, 3 months for China, and 2 years moved back, retrogressed for India. So we see that the maximum retrogression for EB5 India and China, and we see forward movement in all categories for India. So 2 weeks for EB1, 1 month for EB2, and 2 months for EB3. So what can be done? And the other thing to keep in mind is also that they will be looking at the final action date table for employment based and the dates for filing table for family based. So if your date has passed the date that is mentioned in those tables, then you will be able to file your um, adjustment of status application. Just focusing on the employment based cases, what should be done? If you're from India, obviously you should try. If you are EB2, you qualify for EB3 anyway, so you want to file for a new I-140, so that you will have an I-140 in EB3 as well. That way you will be able to take advantage of the forward movement in EB3 India. EB3 India is right now April 2013. And EB2 India is January 2013. So the same year, but EB3 has reached April while India is E2 is only in January. So 4 months apart. So if you want to file for an I-140 for to get an I-140 approved in EB3, and if you already have an approved I-140 in EB2, you can keep both, and then you can ask USCIS to use the I-140, which is the most current. EB1 India has moved up by 2 weeks, so if it's reached February 15, 2022, so if your priority date is that, then you can go ahead and file your adjustment of status. So if your dates are current, make sure you get your adjustment of status application prepared this month, and file it. Get your medicals prepared this month, and all your other documentation ready, and make sure you file it before the end of next month, because you don't know whether the cases will continue to be current or they will retrogress the following month. You will, of course, know that by about the 10th or the 15th of the following month, April, with reference to May. So you'll also have a better idea at that point. But I would say don't take the risk. Prepare everything, especially the medicals, and then file if you can for next month if you're current. Also, you have to keep in mind that you need to have birth certificates, and if you don't have birth certificate, that you're able to get security certificates from your country of origin, and also get secondary evidence such as affidavits, school leaving certificates, letter from your hospital, etc. These are the two most important documents: birth certificate and medicals, that you would need to look into. The rest of the documents you might already have. So that's, on that, Nipasa, we can go to the next question.